Jim is the voice of the American people who have felt voiceless for far too long.
No person having received a majority of the whole number of votes cast by surname, a speaker has not been elected. Pursuant to Clause 12A of Rule 1, the chair declares the House in recess subject to the call of the chair.
All right, well, I guess they're not going to call a second vote. Good times.
FACT-CHECKS McCarthy. Let's listen to Kevin McCarthy here.
Don't read into this. This is about the same vote I had on my first vote out. Let's go back to how I got here. We wouldn't be here if every single Democrat didn't vote with 8 Republicans to shut this place down. That's it. No,
Republicans voted against Jim Jordan today on the floor, including 2 votes from somebody who's not even a member anymore.
Oh, that's gonna hurt!
As a speakership that never was draws to an inevitable, dreary and all too prolonged close, the very man who helped enable the January 6th insurrection set to pick up the gavel that's been tossed back and forth between the GOP like a hot toddy.
Why would you say to Ken Buck that the election was stolen in 2020? That was not stolen.
My first question is, do you really want Tom Emmer to be Speaker?
No, I don't. I don't like Tom Emmer. I figured this would be the worst job in America. Mike Rowe would not want to do this for his TV show. This is a terrible job.
Okay, so just to underscore that, you voted for somebody because you don't like them.
I voted for somebody because I wasn't going to vote for Jim.
Yeah.
We've witnessed some next level hypocrisy and BS on show. From Mike Pence's words of praise towards the very man who wanted him to violate the constitutional oath that he claims to hold so dear.
And vote to elect a Speaker of the House. Jim Jordan would be an outstanding Speaker of the House. He is a principled conservative.
Well, it's interesting to me to hear you say that Jim Jordan would be a great speaker, given he was someone who sent a text to the Chief of Staff on January 5th that outlined for you to violate the Constitution and block the certification of the election.
To today's hot take on Fox. As today, in between recess of catastrophe number 1, Kevin McCarthy tried to do what Kevin McCarthy does. Tried to deflect blame from him or even his fellow Republicans who turn on him in the blink of an eye and blame Democrats. But a Fox News reporter, of all people, was on hand to offer a reminder to Kev, you're the ones that got us into this mess.
FACT-CHECKS McCarthy. Let's listen to Kevin McCarthy here.
Now we have rules. We don't have to be stuck on the floor. The interesting part of why we're here, every single Democrat voted to stop one branch of government. They created this mess with 8 Republicans. Every single Democrat did that. And so I think what we'll do is we'll go sit down. We'll talk to those that have difference of opinion and come back.
Did the margin surprise you?
Thank you.
Do you feel bad for Mr. Do you feel bad right now for Mr. Jordan? You threw your support for him. Do you feel bad for him?
No. Don't read into this. This is about the same vote I had on my first vote out. Let's go back to how I got here. We wouldn't be here if every single Democrat didn't vote with 8 Republicans to shut this place down. That's it. No,
Republicans voted against Jim Jordan today on the floor, including 2 votes from somebody who's not even a member anymore.
Every single Democrat and 8 Republicans voted to shut down one branch of government. That is why we're here today. There's no other reason why we're here today but because of that. Now we had a vote on the floor. It didn't get to the whole point. Now we'll take a break, talk to people, and come back and solve it.
So how long? Is this going to be today?
Yes, that's right. Of course, it's the party of chaos.
Talk about confusing the American people. They think this whole place is a circus up here now. And all of a sudden, Jim Jordan is nominating Steve Scalise, and then we're voting for Jim Jordan. That's utter chaos.
And they can yell, but Democrats, all they want. It doesn't negate from the truth. In fact, if you want to hear what Democrats have to say on the matter, then sure, let's play that game.
We are here because this hallowed chamber has been led to a breaking point by 2 dangerous forces, extremism and partisanship. The American people place their faith in us to tackle their most pressing issues, lowering costs, growing the middle class, and standing up to those set on delivering a national abortion ban. The choice before us is simple. Come together on a bipartisan path forward or take us over the cliff. Abandon the extremism that is preventing us from getting things done or triple down on division and dysfunction. A vote today to make the architect of a nationwide abortion ban a vocal election denier and an insurrection insider to the Speaker of this House would be a terrible message to the country and our allies.
Let's check in with a couple of them, shall we? How about Ted Lieu?
So House Republicans seem concerned with office space. Democrats want to pass laws to help the American family. And that's what we did when we were in control last term. We passed the Inflation Reduction Act to cap insulin at $35 a month and to lower the cost of other prescription drugs. And that's what the American people expect, a functioning government.
And then we'll go to AOC, in which she directed her attention, rightfully so, towards Republicans who are set to vote for Jim Jordan as Speaker, and whether they believe that their constituents, in particular those in New York, would be okay with them lending their support to a man who sought to overturn a free and fair election and is hell-bent on a national abortion ban.
Congresswoman, back in Washington, where I think you're headed tomorrow, there's a big speaker's race heating up. Jim Jordan looks to be the person who Republicans will put up for a vote. You joined in all Democrats in voting to get rid of Kevin McCarthy. Any regrets if Jim Jordan is the man who replaces him?
No. It has never been truly within the integrity and history of this institution for one party to elect another party's member as Speaker. We'll see if Jim Jordan has the votes. We'll see if individuals like Mike Lawler or Mark Molinaro, who represent New Yorkers in Hudson Valley, the Catskills, Westchester County, will actually vote to install a man who voted to overturn the United States' election and who supports a national abortion ban to be Speaker of the House and second in line to the presidency. I have my doubts that the people of New York would really stand for that. But in terms of the integrity of the institution, I think it's important that we support Hakeem Jeffries, the Speaker of the House.
Is Jim Jordan?
And for those of you who aren't so familiar with the Republicans she's discussing, Lawler was the Republican on the receiving end of an epic Jen Psaki fact check after he tried to perpetuate lies framing the Biden administration to have funded Hamas.
We all believe in facts, so I just want to give a few of those. The $6 billion was part of a deal to bring 5 prisoners home. It's not U.S. taxpayer money. It's still being held in a secure bank account in Doha, and each transaction will be monitored by the U.S. Treasury Department. Not a cent of it has been spent. Would you dispute any of those facts I just laid out?
And well, Molinaro, he's a Republican that represents a +5 Biden district who has proudly thrown his support behind a January 6th extremist. So I wonder how this will go down in his district.
Republican battle for a new House Speaker has descended into an even bigger mess this morning.
Do you support Jim Jordan on the floor?
I will support the conference election.
They don't give a shit who the Speaker of the House is.
I think most of the people I represent wouldn't know the Speaker of the House if they backed over him with a pickup truck, and I hope that they don't.
But here's the thing, right? Expecting any semblance of morality from members of a party who sit idly by as their frontrunner goes back and forth from court to face up to any of his 91 indictments is like Ted Cruz expecting love reciprocated from his daughter. It's a pipe dream, and while there may be a few Republicans who go on CNN or Fox to express their dismay at a further than far right speaker, at the end of the day, morality goes out the window when power is accessible.
If the goal is to continue a 30-year march to hollow out our democratic institutions, weaken our democracy, and embolden extremists, there's a candidate for you. If the goal is to continue taking marching orders from a twice-impeached former president with more than 90 pending felony charges, then there is a candidate for you.
And as Hakeem Jeffries put it perfectly, there are no moderates in the modern day GOP. There are just some actors better than others.
Hey Meidas Mighty, love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.